welcome to Friday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where today I get to do a clover puzzle, which I haven't done for ages because Mark tends to do the gas videos, and obviously Clover is one of the 3 constructors of gas puzzles over on the Discord server. But no, I've not done a clover puzzle on the channel for months, but this has been recommended to us. I think this is a new puzzle. It's called Boundary Value Problem, and I'm looking forward to trying it. I've been assured it's suitable for a man who's still struggling with COVID. So let us see how difficult this is. And I think this is a very good day to do it as well, because we heard from our app developer yesterday that Domino Sudoku, which is our brand new Sudoku app, is finally going to make its appearance on the Apple Store, we think next week, it's been a long time coming, we know that. It should be out on Android, I think, a week or so after that. And the reason it's been a long time coming is we basically had to completely get it reprogrammed because of problems we had with the Android store. But we have done all that. All that work is now behind us, and Domino Sudoku should finally hit the various app stores and Steam very, very soon. And Clover, of course, is one of the constructors who appears in that app. So. And this is a Domino Sudoku. We've called it Domino Sudoku because basically all of the constraints in the puzzles in the app revolve around things that you can do to dominoes. So if you're familiar with the channel, you'll know that white dots tend to mean consecutive digits in dominoes. Sometimes you'll see black dots, and that means digits with a ratio of 1 to 2. Sometimes you'll see an X between dominoes, and that means the digits have to sum to 10. And sometimes you'll see V's between dominoes, and that means the digits have to sum to 5. So this is absolutely in line with what we've got coming up in the app. Yeah, we're going to see what we shall see with this puzzle today. Now, what else do I need to tell you about? Well, actually, I've got 2 things to mention. Firstly, I want to say a very happy birthday to Simon Hunt. Now, Simon, I think, you're originally from the UK, but you're now living in Sacramento, California, which must be quite different, at least from a climate perspective, I'm thinking. Your brother Timothy has been in touch. Now, Timothy, obviously also from the UK, is also living in the States now, in St. Louis, Missouri. So Timothy wrote to us and said, Simon, that you really enjoy watching the videos, so I hope you enjoy watching this one, and I hope you've had a brilliant day today and loads and loads of cake. You can hear my voice is very much still not right. Now, the other thing I wanted to get to just shout out today is Vez. Vez wrote us an absolutely charming email. I'm not going to read it out because I'll get emotional. He also sent us this picture, which is really very cool indeed. We've got Maverick making an appearance. We've got Scrabble tiles, 2 bags of Scrabble tiles. We've got Mark and I looking like we're dueling with pencils in a sort of Obi-Wan Kenobi versus Darth Vader sort of way. I joked on Twitter about who it's very clear which one is the Dark Lord of the pencil mark there. And yeah, I thought this was really cool, so I thought you might like to see it. And I just wanted to say thanks to Vaz as well for the very, very kind words in his email. Now, that's all I've got to tell you about, so why don't we kick off with the puzzle, and I'll read you the rules. It's called Boundary Value Problem. I think I said that. Boundary Value Problem. Is that... The Boundary Value Problem sounds like an episode of The Big Bang Theory to me. But I don't know why it's called that just by staring at it. But these are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits separated by a white dot are consecutive. So that's what we thought. These 2 digits have to be consecutive. So if this digit here was a 1, this cell would have to be a 2 to ensure it was consecutive with 1. If this was a 7, this would have to then be a 6 or an 8 in order to be consecutive with 7. That's how the rules work. Not all dots are necessarily given is telling us that it would be absolutely fine, for example, for this cell here to be a 2. Just because these 2 cells are consecutive doesn't mean there has to be a white dot between them. We just know that for certain dominoes in this puzzle, we definitely have got that consecutiveness going on. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And the first thing I'm going to probably do is Sudoku. Look, I can pencil mark some 2s down there. So this 8 is a little bit interesting, isn't it? If the 8 is on this sequence of white dots, because you can't put 9 in that sequence, this would have to be an 8, 7, 6 sequence. And in fact, we would know it would have to go 8, 7, 6 in this order, because you couldn't put 8 in the middle of the sequence, because that would imply 9 was on one side of it. But I think the 8 could go here. Yeah, so perhaps that's not where we're meant to start. There's a lot of there's a sort of weird symmetry about this. It's like an arrow-shaped symmetry. If you look at the 8, 9, 1, 2 here, with this string of white dots. In fact, maybe that string of white dots as well. So something like that sequence of digits, or that sequence, that sort of pattern, is very similar, I'm just going to highlight that for a second, to this pattern here. White dot string, white dot string. If I just highlight those and we imagine a rotation, yeah, it's very similar. So there's something going on there. I don't know what it is, but Clover's hidden something in there for us. We've got a string of white dots in the middle, which is 5. Well, it's 5 digits long, so we know there must be a 5 in this sequence, and hopefully that's fairly obvious. If you imagine you lined up the set of digits 1 to 9 in a row, and then you sliced 5 consecutive digits from anywhere along that sequence, you'd always have to pick up a 5. Okay, so how does this work? No, I see. So I get a pencil mark 9 over here. So I get pencil mark 9s, I get pencil mark 2s. And I've got... Right, okay, ooh, yes, okay, well there must be a 2 on this white dot sequence, is what I'm going to allege. Yeah, because yes, that's quite nice actually. Either there's just a 2 on it automatically. You can see the 2 in box 2 is not in those 3 cells. So it's got a choice. It's either here or it's on the white dot sequence. Now if it's here, the 1 in box 2 gets pushed onto the white dot sequence, where it must be a 1, 2, 3 sequence. So it sort of forces it to be impossible to place the 2 here, because if we put the 2 there, the 1 goes down here and you'd have to put 2 2s in the box. So that means that there is a 2 on this white dot sequence. Now does that mean there's a 1 on it as well? I'm not sure, but what it does do is it puts a 2 on this white dot sequence, and that is lovely because you can't put a 1 on this white dot sequence, so this must be a 2, 3, 4 triple, and that means this digit must be a 3 because it's the centre of that triple. So all of a sudden I have a digit and a thought that we can probably repeat this logic in this box in a moment or two. Let me just see if we can do anything else first. Okay, I can't see immediately how to use this, so I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit and do the same argument with the 8 and the 9. And the argument goes like this. It goes, where does 8 go in box 6? So we can see it can't be here. If we were to try and put the 8 here, well, you can see that 9 in this box now gets pushed onto the dots, where it would have to be a 9, 8, 7 sequence, and you get 2 8s in the box, i.e. the 8 doesn't go here, which means the 8's on the dots, which means that there's an 8 up here, which means this sequence is 8, 7, 6, because, oh, yes, this is more powerful. Yeah, this is more powerful than this was, because look, let's think about how this works now. We know that this is an 8, 7, 6 sequence because it can't have a 9 in it. And we know that this cell here can't be an 8 And we can't put 8 in the middle of the sequence because we need a 9 on one side. So the 8 must be here. This must be 7. This must be 6. And given we know there's an 8 on this sequence, I suppose we also know there's a 7 on it. So that means we've got a 2, 7. Ah, look, lovely. So we've now got a 7 in box 9 because we've got to put the 7 somewhere where it doesn't already see a 7. That gives me a 2 as well. It's very clever, isn't it? It's classic Clover, actually. It's just very clever. And so now in box 3, I've got a 3, 4 pair into those cells, which means this is a 1, 5 pair, and this digit is known to be a 7, just to complete row 1. And now we can ask where 1 goes in box 2, because this one now is forced onto the dots. So that must be a 1, 2, 3 sequence. We can place the 2. This is strange, actually. I was more suspicious of this white dot string. I thought this might be where we had to break in, but it seems not. So we've got a 1, 2, 3 sequence. That fixes my 4, fixes my 3. It means these squares have got to be 4, 5, 6. It means these squares have got to be 8 and 9 to complete row 2. These squares have got to be 5, 6 and 7. Now, can we do that logic again over here? Hopefully. Let me just think about this. Yes, okay. Let's think about the 6 in box 9. It's got to be in one of those cells. Now that means this sequence cannot be 8, 7, 6. So it must be 7, 8, 9. Which means that we get 7, 8, 9 here. Which means that, where do we put 3 in this box? We've got to put it here. That was available before. I just didn't see it in that order. Now this is 4, 5 and 9 to complete the column. These squares have got to be 1, 3 and 6. And if they're 1, 3 and 6, we can do the 1 and the 5 at the top, look. And now we've got 4, 5, oh, okay, so we've got 2, 4, 5, 6 triples. And this 7, 8, 9 triple, we know the central digit of that is an 8. So we've got a lot, we've got a lot done all of a sudden. Oh, and a 4 here. There we go. And we can do what's more, we can do more with Sudoku. Who is surprised about that? Not me. This 4 is locking itself out of this cell. So can we limit this 5-cell sequence now? Is it hard to put 8 on it? It is. Well, it's slightly hard. You can put 8 here. Oh, no, you can't. No, you can't. I don't think you can put 8 on it. I was just looking at these two 8s. I'm wondering where 8 went in the middle box. Yeah, and because you can't put 8 in any of those. And I saw you couldn't put 8 here, because this is a consecutive sequence, so it would have to go 8, 7, and the 7 would clash. And you can't put 8 here, because it would need to be flanked by a 9. Not here, you can't put 9 in the middle of the sequence. You're going to hit 10 somewhere along the sequence if you do that. You're going to have to put the 9 here, and that's going to clash. So there's no 8 on this sequence, which means that we're now only selecting from the digits 1 to 7 in this 5-cell sequence. Oh, goodness me. Right, this is lovely, actually. Yeah, in fact, there's a lot going on here. Where does 1 go in this box? Because of this 1. So if we think about the nature of 1, it is an extreme digit from a Sudoku perspective. So that means from a white dot perspective, it can never live in the middle of the sequence. Because if it does, you'll have to put a 0 on one side of it, and that won't work. So where does the 1 go in this box? Well, given it can't be here, the only white dotted cell it could be on would be this one. But if this is a 1, what's this cell? Yep, it's a 2, and for 2 reasons that won't work. So 1 in the box is in one of these cells. And now I'm now down to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. But I'm not totally sure I can put 2 on this white dot sequence either. Because of this 3. This is so lovely. Good grief. Yeah, okay. So let's ask that question. Where does 2 go in this box? In fact, maybe I should start with 9. Hang on. Yeah, it's all symmetrical. It's these 8 9s, 2s, 8 9s, 1s and 2s. I think we're going to end up with a 1, 2, 8, 9 quadruple here. Let's just try it with 9. Where does 9 go? 9's an extreme digit, so if it's on the white dots, it's got to be in an end. It can't be here, so it's got to be here, but that forces this to be 8, which it can't be. So 9 is in this 2 by 2, which means 9 is in those 2 cells. So 9 is down here. 1 is in one of 2 places here. But then we've already done this work with 8, haven't we? Where does 8 go? We proved it couldn't be on the white dots. So 8 must be in that domino, which means that 8 is in one of 3 cells in box 4. Now, 2, this is the critical one. 2, we have also, we looked at this, I'm sure we did. So now 2 is an extreme digit because 1 is not an extreme digit in the sense that it cannot go on the white dots. And if you put 2 here, you've got to put 3 there, and that doesn't work. So 2 is in this 2 by 2 as well, which means this sequence is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which we know the middle digit is 5. So if we can get rid of 5s from these squares, we know these 2 squares are 3 and 7. We know these 2 squares are 4 and 6. And we have... Okay, we've got 4, 6 pairs in columns 4 and 6. Can't see how that resolves, actually. Can anybody see that? We could... Oh, that's lovely. Right, okay. Okay, yeah, this is beautiful. This is my favourite step so far. So now, does it matter? This is the question. Does it matter which of these is 3? And obviously it matters at the end. We definitely need to know which one of these is 3 at the end. But does it matter now? Well, not really, because whichever one of these is 3, it's going to interact with where the 3 goes in box 2, which is in the same columns, look. So what we could say is we have not put a 3 anywhere in column 5 by the time we get down past all those digits. This can't be a 3. So the 3 in column 5 has to be in this domino at the bottom. And what's 3 consecutive with? 2 and 4. So they can't put 3 here because that would have to be a 2 or a 4. And it can't be. So that's the 3. And it has a 2 or a 4 above it. And that's obviously seeing a 2 up there. So that's 4. And now we know the order. That's gorgeous. So now we know the order of this because this is forced to be 6. So if that's 6, this is 7, this is 4, this is 3. This 7 is fixing 7 and 9. Oh, yeah, look, I could, the symmetry is just sensational. Right, let me just go back. I just want to check something here. Hang on, let me just go back to here. And let's just get rid of these blue things a second. Yeah, it's the same. Look. If I hadn't looked at 3s and their relationship in box 2, and I looked at 7s and their relationship with box 6, look at that. The 7s work the same way, and this given 7 locks the 7 out of there. So where does the 7 go in row 5? It goes on this domino. And we know 8 is down here apparently, so this has to be 6, 7. So this is 6, 7. By the same logic that forced this to be a 3. It's just stunning. It really is. This sort of insight that some of these setters have into how to set just beautiful puzzles. It's really, really humbling, frankly. Right, 6, 7 here. 6, this is 5. That's not... Oh, neither of those are 6. There's a 4 down here, so we can just do simple Sudoku to get a bit further. This 3 is doing the 1 and the 3. So this column now is almost done. We need 2s, 7s and 9s. So the 7 can be placed, the 2 can be placed, the 9 can be placed. Places 5 in the corner. No song, thank goodness, because today my singing voice would be even more dreadful than usual. 9 is in one of these cells. Okay. Okie dokie. So then... Okay, so this cell, if we look at Sudoku on this column, we've got 6 digits already. So we need 1, 8 and 9. Well, this can't be an 8, so it's 1 or 9. But that's the same as this cell. This also can't be an 8. So I suppose the simple question is, where does the 8 go in column 5? It's got to be here. And then this cell's got to be 2, that cell's got to be 1, and that cell's got to be 9. Because that, just to explain how I knew that, I'd pencil marked these 4 cells using corner pencil marks. But in each case, the digit could only go in one of 2 places. So in effect, you can view these corner pencil marks as centre pencil marks in this strange instance. So once we see this is a 1, 9, I can instantly view this as a 1, 9, and therefore we know this is an 8. So hopefully that's fairly clear to people. This 7 is doing the 7 and the 9 here. Okay, so these squares are now 1, 3 and 8, so we can place the 3 and we get a 1, 8 pair. This square is a known digit, that's a 2 just to complete the row. 2 can be just placed in box 7, which places 9 using our pencil marks. This is a 6 using Sudoku, this is a 3, this is a 1. These squares are 5, 6 and 8. We can obviously put the 5 in. I don't know if I can do the 6 and the 8 though, so we might have to just hold our horses there. That's a 6 or an 8 by Sudoku as well. I'm thinking this column is going to be where we get the last little bit of information. Yeah, that's a naked single. So you can see from this column we need 5, 6 and 8, and we've already got 6 and 8 in this row. So that's the 5, that's the 6, that's the 8, that's the 8, that's the 6, that's the 6, that's the 6, that's the 7. That's a 5 therefore, this is a 7. These 2 squares are 1 and 5, and there's a 5 here. So 5, 1, 1, 8, 8, 9, 9 and something. And my little old brain hasn't quite been defeated by COVID yet. Let's click tick, yay! And we did it. So that was just a beautiful puzzle. I mean, Clover's puzzles are beautiful. What more can you say? If you want more like this, just go to the Discord server, where every day there is a gas puzzle, a genuinely approachable Sudoku by one of Clover, Sam Cavnar-Johnson and Philip Newman, all wonderful constructors. And yeah, this is quite close to being gas, isn't it? I think it's slightly harder than gas. You have to have the idea around how these 1s and 2s and 8s and 9s interact, and then to disambiguate the 3 7 pairs with the 1 3s. It's just, I mean, it's not that difficult, but it's harder than a gas puzzle might be to notice that. It's just very beautiful and enjoyable. And I know the comments on this video are going to be, I loved doing that puzzle, because I loved doing it, even in my encumbered state. So thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments how you got on. I do enjoy them, especially when they're kind, and thanks, obviously, so many of you wrote kind messages under yesterday's video wishing me well. And yeah, I am trying to take care of myself, but I do find that one of my best things I can do is to distract myself. I'm a big hypochondriac, so doing puzzles, it gets me out of my own way. So anyway, that's exactly what I was doing in the video, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.